Lisa was diagnosed in September 2010 with cervical cancer. She was good at taking her tests and doing the checkups and stuff, and obviously this one threw up an anomaly. So they did a few more tests and a couple of biopsies and stuff, and in September they nailed it down that it was cervical cancer. I think as an individual and as a family, you hear that word and you panic. You press that big mad button and you all have a wee meltdown internally and individually and collectively, but which we did, but we tried to put as positive a spin on it as we could. And as a family, it was a case of, right, well, we now know what it is. How can we help Lisa going forward with her treatment and recovery and all that sort of stuff? And that was a kind of positive mindset we tried to keep all the way through. She started her treatment, I think it was October, so it was only a few weeks later she started her treatment, and it was radiotherapy, chemotherapy, there was another therapy that I can't remember, but she got a real battering. And anybody that's been in that situation with a family member or a loved one or whatever will know it's a hard watch. She lost all her hair, lost all her weight. She was struggling to do normal day-to-day functions because she was so ill. She moved back in with mum and dad. They basically became her carers because she was just so weak and so ill from the treatment. So they were there for her physically, mentally, and I hate to say financially as well, because she wasn't able to work, so the bills don't stop. So they took a lot of the heavy lifting and taking her in and out to her treatments. So yeah, the first round of treatment was difficult. It was hard to watch, but she came through it. The summer of 2011, she was back at her own wee flat, phasing herself back into work, driving her car, getting her hair back, had a haircut, was put the beef on in the nicest possible way, and everything was a bit more positive. And then around about the September mark again, 2011, she got news that the treatment hadn't worked and the cancer was still there and it was going to have to happen all over again. And that was a real kick in the stomach for everybody. She knew and we knew what was coming. So I think it was a bit more of an atmosphere the second time round. But again, we still kept that positive thing and this is what we're going to have to do as a group. And she started again in and out to the beats and regular chemotherapy, radiotherapy. They ended up giving her radiotherapy every day, so she had a pump and all that fitted. And again it was as you were, backstage mum and dad, lost her hair, lost her weight, and as I say, it was harder this time, I think, second time round, because you knew it wasn't going well. And by the December, the hospital had kind of confirmed it wasn't going well. Our kidneys weren't coping. So the January things were getting a bit ropey, and the 31st of January 2012, I'm sure it was, she was admitted to the Royal in Glasgow, and never made it out, to be honest. She was, within a week, there was a couple of wee complications the first few days, but within a week we were told it was terminal. There was nothing else they could do, and on the 19th of February, she'd passed away. And that was hard as an individual, obviously, but as a family, it was really, really difficult. So yeah, that was hard times. I think we're not the first family to deal with something like this, and unfortunately, we're not ever going to be the last. But if Lisa's story and Clydebank Football Club can raise awareness in any way, shape, or form for that, a few more women go and get themselves checked, then it can only be a good thing.